Greetings my builder friends and welcome to another video. Today I will show you how beginner friendly Torchlight Infinite is and how to make a build that easily completes the campaign with just generic items you drop from regular monsters. But before we start, I'd like to recommend two previous reviews I made for this game. The first one talks entirely about its monetization, so you know what to expect and if the game's pay to win or play to win. The second is just a complete review about the mechanics and also putting it in a parallel with Path of Exile. You can find a link to both in the video description and in the first comment. Okay, so let's say this will be your first character ever in Torchlight. You will naturally start with nothing in your stash and even worse without access to the auction house. This means that you need a build that is strong by itself and not at all gear dependent. With that in mind, I recommend you to start with Commander Model and its mechanical army. As you might know, minion builds are very strong, safe and easy to play. So in the next few minutes I will show you a quick guide about which skills, talents and hero trait nodes to choose in order to have a smooth leveling without buying a single piece of gear. We already start with the Mechanical Guard minions. They have a very useful dash to approach enemies and hit very hard with their AoE attacks. Now we just need to make sure that we pick minion damage nodes in our talent tree and choose the right support skills for our minions along the way. Since you start having to pick talents already on level 2, let's start with them. As I said before, you focus on nodes that grant bonuses to your minions, so let's look for minion damage, minion attack speed and so on. Keeping this line of thought, let's pick the God of Machines as our first talent tree. When you get 10 and 20 points in this tree, you'll be able to choose your keystone nodes. For this build I chose Orders that grants more minion damage and cast speed to summon skills. I also got Mighty Guard that grants an amazing amount of +3 to level of all minion skills. Moving on to the next talent tree, let's pick the Machinist. Here we have many useful nodes for our minions and 2 more keystone nodes to boost our power. The first keystone we pick is Boss. It will increase the quantity of minions you may have and grant 50% more duration to them. The second is the Burning Aggression that grants your minion 50% chance to ignore armor. Since this is a quick leveling guide until the end of the campaign, those 2 are the only passive trees you need to worry about. You'll finish the last act and be ready for endgame around level 60, but just in case I will show you the best hero traits you have until level 62. Hero trait is what makes your character unique. It's like the Ascendances in Path of Exile. You unlock your hero trait nodes when reaching the right levels. The first is on level 13 and the last on level 80. Every time you reach one of those nodes, you feel a huge upgrading power. For the levels 13 and 50, you won't have a choice. But for the level 32 I recommend the All-In node that grants more overload effect to our minions. And on level 62 I recommend Brothers in Arm to make sure that our minions have the overload effect all the time at its peak. I'm sure that by this time you already noticed the items equipped in the hero trait. Those are a new mechanic introduced in the current season and they can only be acquired by completing its brand new contents. With those items you can get more useful bonuses to you and your minions. Following, it's time to talk about skills and support skills. I already told you about the Mechanical Guard, but on level 7 you can also use Spider Tanks that are awesome ranged minions that will make you think about the Mage Skeletons of PoE. Having 2 types of minions is good because you have a limit of 6 minions summoned at a time, but your minion skills will start with a lower limit that increases while you level up. With 2 types of minions you can use 6 minions since earlier, because you have 3 minions of a type and 3 of another. The first support skill you get for your minions is Minion Damage. On level 7 you unlock Maniacal Army and on level 15 Assault Command. Focus your support skills on your Mechanical Guards first and on your Spider Tanks later. An important trick here is that when you notice that you can already summon 6 of any of the 2 types of minions you have, replace minion damage with the mechanical modification support. The support skill grants over 100% more damage to your minions by the cost of removing half of its minion capacity. But since you only need 3 of them, you won't even feel this downside. As for the other skills, I recommend keeping the Compound Potion as an emergency button to refill your life in times of need. For your movement skill, I recommend the Leap attack. That is just like the good old Leap Slam for you to move around quickly. Also the Dark Gate, that brings all of your minions by your side when used and even grants them a great damage bonus. And of course, as soon as you unlock your Aura skills, activate the Thunder Spirit, that besides being a special minion that you can have above the limit, it also grants a great attack and cast speed buff for you and your minions. And that's it guys. Just by following those simple instructions you have your first character above level 60 in about 4 hours. Now you can use the auction house to buy leveling items for any other character you want to try out. Believe me, this will make your life a lot easier from now on. But before we end this video, I just want to show you how effective this build is, even with garbage gear. For that, take a look at how easily it killed the final campaign boss. It's even more impressive now when I show you my equipments. Notice how most of them are really weak and without any minion damage bonuses. I did this on purpose just for you to know that you don't need to do everything right. Even if you let many things pass, this build will still bring you to the beginning of the end game with no problems whatsoever.
The flesh and blood of the oldest living creature. O rotten sun, bring the new god into this world.
Besides, keep your eyes sharp for this unique hammer, the Interlocking Soul. It grants you up to 100% increased minion damage and other great bonuses. It's almost certain that you'll drop at least 1 while leveling. I, for instance, got 2, just didn't use them because I wanted to keep my character as raw as I could. Using 2 of those hammers, you'll be ready to explore the endgame. But don't forget to check the pink items you drop to always keep your gear updated. When you drop your first 2 Flame Elementals, get 2 of those hammers with at least 50 energy each. This will allow you to get more support skills for your minions, essential for you to keep climbing the endgame of Torchlight Infinite. As always, don't forget to check the links in the video description to download Torchlight Infinite and be one of the founders of this new community that have so much potential to be huge. I'm having lots of fun playing it and I hope each of you can have it as well. And that's all for today guys. Please take a second to give us a thumbs up and write a comment about your experience with Torchlight Infinite. See you guys soon and don't forget to keep building.